Good morning and welcome to the Unearthed YouTube channel, and we're out detecting this morning. I'm on my own, there's no organised dig. It's absolutely howling with wind. The weather for summertime has turned from red hot to freezing cold. It's almost like the end of autumn. But we're out today on some pasture. I've not detected this particular area here in front of us, and I'm with the X-Terra Pro, which is behind me. So I'm going to take a journey on the quad now. We're just going to head to the area that we're going to detect on and hopefully get some good finds for you. Keep watching, we'll be back. Through before we start are the settings I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using it on field 1, as you can see. That's field 1, 15 kilohertz, the sensitivity at 22. I'm going to noise cancel it in a minute. 25 volume. I'm going to use it on 2-tone, -16, accept and reject, 2 recovery speed. I might put it up to 3 actually on that, and away we go. Okay, it took about 15 minutes to get the first signal. It come up 35, 37 on the scale. There's the X-Terra there. Just dug it out. It's actually in the clod. You can just see it there. Looks to me to very much like a button. Yeah, our friend the 4-holer, fairly modern one as well. That's probably why it's down so shallow. Well, that's a start. The very next signal, not 5 meters away, again in the clod, very shallow target, 55 on the X-Terra Pro, and that looks to me like possibly a bullet. Maybe not, I don't know. It's very, very heavy. Very heavy. So more finds coming up, that's interesting. It's better than nothing, folks, better than nothing. Let's see if we can move on. Right, folks, next find. The probe's just located it, and it's this object here. Now, I haven't got a clue what that is, so let's have a look together. It does look like there's got a lot of iron staining on it. But you can see a bit of bronze sticking out here. So whatever it is, it's encrusted inside this shell. So I'll break that open gently. I'm not sure if that's interesting or not. It could be something interesting, actually. Well worth looking at. You can just see the bronze artifact sticking out of the iron incrustation. 51 on the scale. Okay, well, that took a little bit of time to locate that target. I was probably 25-30 minutes without a signal there. Very, very quiet, and then this popped out. You can just see it there. The probe's just picking it up right there, and it looks to me very much like the end of a spoon. Now, I have got gloves, folks, so those of you that may pull me up on gloves. I always wear gloves. I've just took the glove off to give this a bit of a scrub. Well, I'm going for, it is an artifact of sort. It's probably got some age to it as well, but I'm going for spoon handle. Quite interesting. Be an early one, that, I should imagine. Right, on to the next. Very next target, and you can just see that there. A fragment of a buckle, possibly. So it's turning out to be a decent little session, this, even though the artifacts are broken or a little bit the worse for wear. It's still an enjoyable session. Well, have I just had a scare, detecting away, minding my own business, and there was an almighty crash and a big huge break, and this tree here had come right down with the wind. I don't know if you can see where it's broken there, look. What a crash. And it's actually still stood up somewhere, because I could see it vertical, and then it started quivering and it stayed in its same position. So I might nip down there later this week and get it for firewood for the winter. But I jumped. What a noise. This wind You know, for this time of year, it's unseasonal. Next signal up, folks, just after that rather dramatic crash, is our friend, the shotgun cartridge. No words needed. Now that was a decent signal, boomed over in the 60s, high 60s, and you can just see it peering out the hole there. That is the artifact, and I think, let's have a look together. Yeah, saddler's badge. Oh, still got the leather on, look. Still got the leather on there, that's good to see. Victorian in date, we should better get a name on that. Good stuff. Probably the best find of the day up to now, that. Excellent. Well, is my heart beating. Now, I've gone at least 25 minutes without a decent signal. There's lots of iron, lots of bits of broken signals, and this was a scratchy signal. It was having it two ways on one side, coming up, bouncing around 35, 40, even as high as 43, 44 on the VDI. But I'm a tone man, I was going by the tones, it was broken, it was spitting, and then I was moving 180 degrees and it was coming up a decent signal. Now the probe has just indicated that I've just got a glimpse of it, and that's why I've just there. Can you see that? Now this is quite deep. Let's have a look. You know, it's not bad. It's a probe depth nearly. Just off the top of that probe there, can you see? And there, look down the bottom. So what's that? Let me turn this noisy bugger off. Oh, that looks like hammer to me. And if it is a hammer, it's only the second one I've had off this field. Ever. Let's reveal it. Oh God, I hope it is. Oh, it is. Absolutely 100% a hammered. Oh, you don't know how excited I am and how relieved, I guess, because I've been chasing another hammered since 2013. That was the last time I found a hammered on here, 2012-13. Charles I shilling. That is an early one. Oh, absolutely. I'll just be gentle with that. Medieval. Is it a half penny or a penny? I'm going for penny. But it could be a half penny. No, it's not. It's too big for a half penny. It's a penny. Oh, it's a good one as well. Wow. Talk about being excited about that. I'm absolutely made up. Absolutely made up with that find. Now, I'll put some images at the end of this film up, but how much is that? I mean, it's nothing major, but it's a piece of history, and it's a nice piece of history as well. You know, probably 14th century coin, that. What a find. I'm over the moon. If I don't find anything for the rest of the month, who cares? Well, that discovery date just there, just literally 5 yards away from me, has got my imagination running. And I tell you for why. I'm going to turn this camera around and show you something. That's better. Right, so this woodland here, as we can see, this in the medieval period used to stretch all the way through to a 12th century abbey. And there was footpaths and all sorts of activity going on in it, right? So the medieval people would have been in there hunting, they would have been harvesting the firewood, they would have been doing all sorts of activities in this wood. And here's the intriguing thing. As I'm walking across this headland, in the distance there's an ancient village from the Doomsday, and I'm just going to show you it. There it is, just peering in the distance. I'm going to home in so you can see that village in there that's hidden is actually dates back to the Doomsday period. Doesn't look a lot, but there's quite a few houses down there, but all the trees are hiding them. Now you can bet your bottom dollar that the person that's just lost that, or did lose that silver penny all those years ago, right, was walking across here, probably been in these woods. These woods might have extended into these fields. He's probably been on his way back home to the village and lost it. The weather was probably coming in bad. He could have been running because of the weather, could have been long grass, dropped it, never find it again. So I can get the imagination juices flowing with that coin. There's a medieval person that walked across here. I mean, it might not have been dropped exactly there. The plough could have dragged it a little bit because these fields have been ploughed in the past. But how amazing to think that somebody was out here all those years ago, 700 years ago, and has lost that penny, and we found it again together. Back down to earth with a bump. After all that excitement, you can just see it sticking out there. It's our friend, the shotgun cartridge. Blasted thing. A booming signal this time again in the high 70s, and you can see what looks to me like very much like the top of a bell. And I was just going to say, is it broken? And it is broken. I can feel it moving too easily, so the body of it would have been solid. Yeah, it looks like it's been made of pewter possibly. It's got like a silver sheen on it. Not particularly old, maybe 1700s. But still a nice find. That would have been really nice if it was full. You know what? It's been a fantastic session this for midsummer. I just apologise for the wind, but it's been a great spell this last hour and a half, 2 hours. It's been fantastic. All sorts coming up. I do apologise for this wind, folks. It's getting stronger by the minute. And I've just got another signal here coming up 55 on the screen. Really good signal. You can just see it there. It's not very deep, 4 or 5 inches down. You can see a little loop on it. Oh, that's interesting. Whatever it's been squashed. It's got a few roots growing out of it, so it's a little bit worse for wear. I'm not sure what that is. I've found something very similar to this before, and I can't remember what it is. My memory banks aren't as good as they used to be. I'll have to get some identification up on the screen. It could have been one of those lion's faces. It's pressed, so it's not old. It'll be Georgian Victorian, I should imagine, but maybe it's not one of those faces. I don't know what that's been. One of you wonderful people would have probably been able to work out what that is. Still a very interesting find though.